ERMES Gasparini, Levan Saginashvili, one of the most interesting subjects of 2025. Most interesting for me because if any man has come close to beating Levan Saginashvili, it's ERMES Gasparini. He's the only person who officially has taken rounds off him, albeit Levan gassing out, putting the oxygen mask on, and just refusing to pull rounds 5 and 6. But take that away, he actually came close. When they faced the king of the table last year, ERMES Gasparini genuinely came close. Now, this whole story is a very fascinating story. And when I say this whole story, I'm kind of step back a little bit and talk about Levan. We know Levan's the king of the world in arm wrestling. There's really, at the moment, 3 wolves circling him. We know ERMES Gasparini, but there's also Devon Larratt and Vitaly Laletin. Now, ERMES Gasparini's taken a big chance here. And the chance he's taken is he qualified to be the next man to face Levan. He beat Michael Todd. He could have just said, yep, let's go, let's do it. But instead, he opted to let Vitaly Laletin have the first go at Levan because ERMES wants a longer, more dedicated preparation specifically for Levan. He obviously believes he can beat Levan, but he wants a full 6-month run. He doesn't think that 3 months is enough in order to get it done. Now, this could backfire if Vitaly Laletin beats Levan. It could backfire and be devastating for someone like ERMES Gasparini. Because at the moment, like I said, 3 wolves circling. One of them's going to get a meal and is going to get to be potentially the dude that beats Levan. So I don't know. ERMES Gasparini doesn't believe much in Vitaly Laletin, obviously. He's happy to take the risk. We know that Devon's not going to get a go before ERMES, so he doesn't need to worry about Devon taking him down. But back to the match, the psychological pressures on Levan are increasing. As these 3 wolves circle, he's got to start thinking about defense against a tall guy, defense against an older guy with brutal pronation. But ERMES Gasparini, he is the man that came closest, and Levan has to think about how to deal with such explosive strength that ERMES possesses. Now, I've always thought there's a formula that makes you potentially the best arm wrestler in the world. Levan kind of walked that path, but ERMES is walking that path even better. And the path that I refer to is, it's kind of the opposite of the curse of strength. You know the curse of strength where you've got like Brian Shaw, someone who turns up, he's as big as Levan, even bigger than Levan, got all the genetic potential and you can see the strength in him, but he can't move like an arm wrestler at the elite level. And it's very difficult to become a sharpened elite level arm wrestler when you're already that big and already that strong. Enter ERMES Gasparini. He is what I consider the perfect formula for achieving the overall #1 rank in the world. And that perfect formula is be a lightweight arm wrestler, become very technical, become very sharp, very explosive, very good at every counter there ever is. Now if you go back and look at that, at ERMES Gasparini's history, he's done that. I met him for the first time in 2015. I think he won the Malaysian WAF World Championships that year in the 85 kilo division, if I remember correctly. 85 kilo ERMES Gasparini looked impressive. He dominated, he won. And since then, we're now talking 130 kilos, but he still possesses in him all of the sharp movements. His hand, his wrist, his instincts are refined like a lightweight, yet he's now bringing the explosive power of a 130 kilo version of ERMES Gasparini. Now, this, I believe, out of all of the people pursuing Levan, ERMES is the one. I'm so close to saying it. I think he will do it. I think ERMES has the best chance. Levan is a monster. Levan is so big. The weapon that Levan possesses that is above ERMES is his wrist. It's the significance, the thickness of his wrist, the thickness of his hand. It's very difficult for ERMES to bust back the wrist of Levan. I believe ERMES has better back pressure. We've seen that 92 kilo direct single cable back pressure that ERMES does. I don't think Levan has that, and it's certainly not with the same explosivity that ERMES possesses. I do believe that ERMES even possesses more explosive and more efficient wrist flexion and pronation in respect to how it all ties together. His neurological ability to just snap into a top roll, I think, is the best in the world. Levan is bigger. Levan is, I don't think, stronger, but when you combine his size with the width of his joints and the effect of having the width of those joints against ERMES, who is a smaller joint arm wrestler, he becomes superior. But if we wind back to what happened at King of the Table, look, ERMES didn't win a round in those first 4, but he should have. He got ripped off. I'm so certain he got ripped off. From my memory, King of the Table was running fouls. Round number 4, the ultimate round where Levan was due to win the match. He busts back ERMES' wrist. ERMES' back pressure is sufficient to get a stop. Levan's down underneath his hand height. His biceps exposed, and ERMES starts to chip through. Now, Levan drags off the back of the pad and gets given a restart. Why was it given a restart? It should never have been given a restart. It should have just been running foul, continue on, and if he doesn't get back on the table, professional foul, win to ERMES. That's what it should have been. That's how it should have been called. It wasn't called that way that day. Levan got the restart, and in the restart, ERMES didn't get the stop. Now, I think we're going to see this time around, when ERMES takes on Levan, we're going to see him come well prepared. He knows the lane now. He's felt the lane. I think he has more upside potential to go and improve his strength than Levan does in blocking that strength, because Levan is, like I said, he's got 3 wolves that he's catering to. Levan can't prepare as targeted as ERMES will for this one. So I believe ERMES Gasparini is going to be the man in 2025 that does this impossible task if anyone's going to do it. Look, Levan will probably prove me wrong because Levan's Levan. But ERMES, you can see the hunger, you can see the technique, the technical lane is there, back pressure, off the go, the roaring ERMES Gasparini. He'll lose his wrist slightly, but at that crucial moment, when the stop happens, he'll transition his shoulder, and you're going to see him this time. He's going to demand, don't you dare let this man get a restart, because Levan was done. Levan was done in round 4 if that match just had been called correctly by the referees. He was done. ERMES would have been the first man to ever get a decisive pin on Levan. Anyway, that's how my brain sees it. I could be wrong. I've been wrong on plenty of things in arm wrestling, but my gut feel is ERMES Gasparini 2025. If it doesn't all backfire and Vitaly Levan steals all the chocolates, ERMES will be the first man to beat Levan. Let me know what you think.